T-Rex. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is probably the most famous species of dinosaur that ever lived. They lived between 68 and 66 million years ago on an island continent called Laramidia, which has since broken up and became what is now the western side of North America. Based on complete fossils that have been found, they stood up to 40 feet tall and weighed as much as 15 tons. They walked on two legs and had huge heads, so much so that they needed large tails to help balance properly. They had short but powerful arms with toe-clawed fingers, and even though they weren't necessarily the largest of dinosaurs of their kind, they probably had the most powerful bite by far. They would have been the apex predators in the region at the time and preyed on smaller and less aggressive species. Since they've never been observed in the wild though, there's also the suggestion that they may have been scavengers and opportunistically fed on the carcasses of other dinosaurs that had already died. Either way, from the approximately 50 T-Rex specimens that have been found so far, one thing's for sure: they were extremely dangerous, and we wouldn't have stood a chance against one if we had been unfortunate to be alive at the same time. Spinosaurus. The Spinosaurus, which means Chinese reptilian wing, is a species of dinosaur that was first described in 1996 and lived in the region of what is now northeastern China during the Cretaceous period, around 140 million years ago. It's the first species of non-avian dinosaur that is known to have been covered with feathers, although they weren't feathers like we know from birds in modern times, but were instead filament-like structures that gave them a level of temperature regulation. They had strangely small arms and very long tails, and based on limited specimens that have been found, were 3.5 feet long and weighed around 1.5 pounds. They were carnivores, and since specimens have been found with the remnants of lizards and mammals in their guts, they would certainly have attacked and eaten anything of a similar size. Interestingly, there's also evidence that they ate venomous animals too, so they may have even had a natural immunity to certain toxins. Spinosaurus are also thought to have been pack hunters, and large groups would have been able to collectively take down animals much larger than themselves, and as a group were one of the most dangerous animals to have ever lived. Liopleurodon. The Liopleurodon was a species of aquatic plesiosaur that swam in the world's oceans during the late Jurassic period, around 160 million years ago. They were undoubtedly the apex predators of their time and are thought to have grown to up to 21 feet in length, although there are some indications that individuals could be as much as 4 times this size. They are believed to have usually weighed around 2.5 tons and were essentially twice the size of a great white shark. Researchers first became aware of the species in 1873 when 3 teeth were found, and it was based on these that the name was given, which means smooth-sided teeth. Further discoveries have shown them to have a row of razor-sharp teeth, however, each of which were 3 inches long, and would have meant that these fierce carnivores would have made light work of anything in the ocean. So much so they wouldn't have thought twice about attacking anything that was bigger, even though they probably, usually, targeted medium-sized fish and crustaceans. Amphicelias fragilis. We normally think of the carnivorous dinosaurs as the most dangerous, but spare thought for the herbivores, because with their extreme size and weight, they could certainly put up a good fight. The Amphicelias fragilis is a great example of that, as they were a leaf-eating species that lived around 150 million years ago during the late Jurassic period. Found in what is now known as North America, they were related to the more well-known Diplodocus, and were a similar size at an estimated 82 feet long. They weighed more though, with a theoretical mass of up to 20 tons, which would have required incredibly powerful legs and tail muscles to support. Once fully grown, very few other dinosaurs would have messed with them. Their tail whip alone would have caused huge damage, and they'd likely have been able to throw any predators free of them without much effort. This was fortunate because they wouldn't have been able to move very quickly, at just a few miles per hour. And because of their weight and the way they walked, other animals would have felt faint trembles in the ground for up to a quarter of a mile away. VELOCIRAPTOR. Probably one of the most renowned dinosaurs of the time, VELOCIRAPTORs were a pack-hunting species that, when working together, could have felled virtually any large dinosaur. They lived during the later stages of the Cretaceous period, around 73 million years ago, and there are actually 2 distinct species that we know of, both of which have been found in China and Mongolia. This means they wouldn't have ever come face to face with a T-Rex, for example. And they were very different from how they're portrayed in movies. Velociraptors were more like the size of a turkey and would have been no more than 4 feet tall. Fossil evidence now suggests that they were feathered, and they probably weighed no more than 30 pounds. Despite their size, they were fast and had a powerful bite. They had extremely sharp serrated teeth that were curved to allow them to bite into something and hold on tight. They also had hands with 3 sharp claws, and it's thought that they would have dug into their prey with their teeth and slashed away with their claws until their victim